So yeah, I've been sitting on that for a couple days. I thought you'd like that.
That's hilarious.
You are officially part of a show that was banned in North Korea.
I'm okay with it.
Gathered together from the cosmic reaches of the universe,
You mean our guest tonight is...
dedicated to truth, justice, and peace. It's the world's greatest superpower show.
Hi, welcome to Minding the Multiverse. My name is Gabriel,
And I'm Jeremy.
and we are here to talk about comics, culture, and what the New Testament would look like if it were directed by John Carpenter. This week, in honor of Easter, we're diving into the story of Jesus. If Jesus were an Amazonian warrior and Pontius Pilate had 6 heads.
Noise.
Jeremy, would you watch that version of the Bible?
Yes. If it was John Carpenter, you could expect a lot of gore and leather and pinheads.
That's definitely the direction we're going.
Sounds good to me.
So this week, we're going to cover something a little new. A lot of times we go kind of deep into the past, deep into the 80s.
Yeah.
But this week, we're actually covering something kind of new. So we're going to cover Wonder Woman Dead Earth, which actually came out last year. And on that note, we're going to be doing a little less of a deep dive into this story because it is new, and I don't want to get too spoiler heavy. And this, out the gate, is an amazing book that you absolutely need to get. So we're going to talk about why it's awesome. We're going to get into this story. We're going to talk about the bones of it, the disgusting, protruding face bones, probably something with a horrible mandible. And then that's it. We're gonna leave you for the rest of it.
Awesome. Sounds good. I've been interested in this one.
You should be, because it's amazing. This is actually by the DC Black label, so it's kind of an alternate tale. It's kind of like an Elseworlds kind of thing. It takes place deep in the future, and is able to kind of remove the tethers of the modern story arcs and stuff like that. It's completely on its own, which gives it a lot of room.
Is it like the Marvel's What If in a way?
Kind of, but less direct. It's less like, hey, let's pretend this happened. It's like, hey, what if we jumped ahead 1,000 years?
Gotcha.
What would this look like? So if you like Mad Max and giant monsters,
Hell yeah.
this is the place for you.
Sounds fantastic.
It really is. I'll tell you. So we'll jump right into it. And this is a story written by and art done by Daniel Warren Johnson with coloring by Mike Spicer. And Daniel Warren Johnson is the Eisner Award nominated writer and artist of Extremity, Space Mullet. Got to check out that one.
Yeah, that one. I immediately was like, Space Mole. Wait a minute.
And Murder Falcon, which is another one that we've been talking about recently that is pretty amazing.
Right, yeah.
But this is his first major project with DC.
Like mainstream, yeah.
Right. Mike Spicer, on the other hand, is known for his work on Silencer, Horizon, Star Wars: The Last Jedi, and one of Jeremy and I's new favorites, Headlopper.
Yeah.
If you want to talk great use of color, you go to Headlopper.
Yeah, all of that art is amazing.
Absolutely. And he's worked for just about everybody. So he's worked for DC, Marvel, Image, Boom. He's done it all. He recently collaborated with Daniel Warren Johnson on Murder Falcon. So if you like that art style, you'll dig this a lot. I also wanted to call out Russ Wooten for the lettering. Typically, lettering and stuff is something that's, kind of ignorable.
Yeah, you just read it. It's not something you don't ever really look at the lettering and go, wow, this is great lettering, because most comic lettering has the same style.
Right. And typically you only notice it if it's bad.
Right.
Right? This is noticeably good. And it fits the overall style perfectly. So it's not just regular everyday comic lettering. Each bubble is handwritten.
That's really
and
cool.
And it fits the super low-tech surroundings we find ourselves in. So every part of it fits together in this visual puzzle.
A lot of attention to detail and not ambiance, but the aesthetic.
Absolutely. And I think you're right on both those. It really sets the scene for you on all sides.
Nice.
And I don't have it in my notes here, but Jeremy and I were talking about before we started the show, even the sound effects are amazing. Like the sound effects are drawn in a style that fits what's happening. So if you have someone with a very sharp sword, the sound effect is slice written in cursive.
Yeah.
And if the person next to them has a giant hammer and they're laying waste on somebody, it's a big chunk with big square letters, and like every part of it is like artistically pleasing. Like, you're like, oh, that works. I totally
Highly stylized onomatopoeias.
Yes, absolutely. It's beautiful. There's even a scene where Diana's taking a big jump off something, and the letters Diana are falling because someone's yelling after her,
Right.
and it's falling with her, and it's done in like a loopy drawn where it almost looks like it's lines of her following, but if you look, it actually says Diana.
That's really cool.
It's amazing. Like, it'll stop you in your tracks, like, and that's sound effects.
Hey, that's the way to catch somebody's eye. It's the way to engage your imagination too, because you could hear that if it's done that well. You hear
Yes.
it in your head.
Absolutely. The whole thing is just a gift for the senses, like top to bottom.
Very nice.
So those are the technical details. Now we'll get into the actual story, because it starts pretty quick. We open on Diana and her mother explaining how Diana was created from clay, and that she was made strong enough that, quote, no one could ever hurt you. And one day the powers of this world will end. Their fragile grasp on our earth will shatter like glass. But you will live on. And this dialogue is given against the backdrop of a nuclear war. And then we cut to the future. And there are 4 young people exploring a wasteland. And they're looking for new areas to scavenge. And during their search, they're interrupted by a huge, super gross looking monster specifically designed to induce nightmares.
Nice.
They run to escape, obviously. Like, this isn't something you can fight. This is something that's like, okay, run or be a meal. There's no fighting this thing off. So,
Is it a recognizable monster at all, or is
Nope.
it like something totally new?
totally new. It's got this big, fat, bulbous body and like almost like praying mantis type pincers in the front.
Ooh, neat.
And its head is a skull with giant fangs coming out the front.
Sick.
The whole thing is just, oh yeah, this is awful.
Saber-toothed mantis bear.
It's one of those things that if you saw it in real life, you just snap your own neck. Like, oh no, snap, I'm done.
This doesn't compute. I'm just
Nope.
going to stop right now.
Yeah, this can't be good. I'm out. So, as they're running, they see a cave. Okay, cool. We're going to run to the cave. We're going to go hide in there. They all run. They get into the cave, and they see a hole, and it goes straight down. And now, if you look behind them, the monster's starting to get into the cave. It's starting to tear its way in. So you have 2 choices. You jump into the unknown or be eaten by the monster.
Yeah.
So they jump.
Yeah, you have to think about, like, okay, this thing, it's not going to be comfortable to get eaten by. Whereas a really long fall, well, that could be real quick. So,
Hey, the math adds up.
yeah. Screw it.
So they jump.
Yeah.
Good on them. Unfortunately, the monster gets through the cave and decides to jump with them.
Oh,
So it follows them into the hole.
that's not good.
So they all land together inside a high-tech but abandoned area deep underground. Now, one of the kids lands on a big glass tank and cracks it open. And the monster's there now too, and it's time to eat these poor kids.
Yeah, it's dinner time. Yeah, there's nowhere else to go.
Nowhere to go. The kids hold each other and they wait.
Oh, shit.
Like, okay, I love you too. Here we go. And then a woman pops out of the glass tank, grabs the monster by the throat, and rips its throat out.
Noise.
Now, the woman's confused, doesn't know where she is or what it was she just killed. And we zoom out. And we see that we're in the Batcave.
Oh, snap.
And she says, I know this place. And then she sees Bruce, or at least what's left of him. It's actually just a skeleton in a bat suit.
Oh, shit.
Yeah. And she walks up the stairs into the Wayne Manor, and it's just a foundation. and she looks outside, and it looks like the surface of Mars.
Oh shit! So this nuclear war was no joke.
Right. It's donezo. Everybody. You got everybody.
And like, are we talking like even most buildings have been?
Yeah.
Like it's a wasteland of nothingness.
Right. Yep.
Damn.
It's just craters and wasteland. Think like Fallout.
Okay. Yeah.
We're that kind of world. Right. So we cut back to her and the kids. It's a little later. They're still recovering from the encounter. They've made a little campfire in the ruins of the Wayne Manor. And the kids tell us that no one alive knows what happened to the world. All they know is that there was a great war a long time ago, and the stories were never passed down. No one ever wanted to talk about it. So now they don't know.
Do they give a time frame for this?
No, they just say it's a long time ago. It's
time.
generations
Wow.
of people have lived in this type of world.
So we could probably guess like hundreds, not thousands, but like hundreds.
Yeah, that'd be a reasonable ballpark. And they also tell us that the monster that was chasing them is a fairly common occurrence now. There are creatures mutated by the nuclear fallout all over the world, and that's the main thing that they are fighting against. And it's not even fighting against; it's like trying to survive around these monsters.
Are these creatures of varying kinds, or just this one specific?
No, they all look well. So there's like a horde type of monster that are kind of smaller, and they, you see them in kind of like waves sometimes. But then there's like big monsters that are really unique, and they're always awful, and Lovecraftian nightmares.
Right. Okay.
So the woman, of course, is Diana. That's our Wonder Woman. And she tells the kids that she has no memory of how she got into the tank,
Oh, wow.
but that she was a protector of the world a long time ago. And the kids tell her that she didn't do a very good job because the world sucks. And we cut to her a little later, and she's sitting with Bruce's corpse. And she tells him that something's wrong. Like, she's still strong, but not like before. And that she feels helpless. She doesn't know what's going on, and the world is so awful. Like, what
I
happened?
wonder if it's just because she's been asleep so long she's not as powerful.
Partly,
Oh, okay.
but she's missing her gauntlets, too.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and because she was placed in a special suit for the tank, it seems. It's like this full-body white suit. She kind of looks like an extra from Dune. Like it's all like patched in tubes and hoses and stuff.
Yeah.
And so she tells Bruce that she's going to need a few of his things and that she hopes he doesn't mind. So she takes his utility belt off of his corpse and some armor from a decorative set on the wall, and then finds the tattered remains of her original outfit. It's just threads. Something happened.
Right.
But she takes it, puts it in, kind of part of her suit, just, to have it. And she combines it all together and gets a real, like, Mad Max vibe going, which totally fits our environment. Like,
Yeah, I'm thumbing through the pages while you're talking about it. The art is so fucking good.
it's bananas. It's absolute bananas.
And the coloring too, like you had mentioned, is out of this world good.
I love the way that she's portrayed in this book. Like, she's not like she doesn't look like Gal Gadot. I mean, she doesn't look like a tiny, gorgeous woman. I mean, she looks like a woman who could whoop your ass.
Right.
Like, I love that. They didn't. Her hair is frizzy. Like, she's not here to walk the runway. Like,
No, and she doesn't look like a white chick either. She looks.
no, she has a much more like universal look.
Yeah.
She's not a particular race. She's not a tall white lady. So which I think is a very interesting way to go to it. Like, all right, here's our character, and she, she looks real. She looks tough. She looks like, she's not strutting with her boobs all
Right.
pushed
Yeah,
out.
she looks scrappy as fuck. It's cool.
Yeah. So she asks the kids if she can join them as they head back to their home, because again, they were out scavenging. There's
Right.
they came from somewhere, and they agree, and they trek for days. Apparently, they were pretty far away. It shows like a bit of a passage of time. So they were trekking, and they finally arrive at their home, which is an old castle built into a mountainside. And it looks old and was probably spared by the apocalypse. Like, just the way it's built and where it's at looks like it's saved that building. And the castle is called Camp Hope. And I think the name is ironic because it's bleak as hell inside. There are roughly 1,000 people inside its walls, and they're all wasteland scavengers or soldiers. Now, twist. The kids drug Diana. They know that if they bring the king an exotic new human for his collection, they'll be rewarded.
Ooh.
Now, the king is appreciative for his gifts and decided to make Diana his newest wife.
Well, isn't he generous?
Yeah, well, Diana comes to and throws his punk ass through a table. But unfortunately, she's overpowered by all of his guards. Again, she's a little weakened.
Yeah.
And she's sent to a cell instead.
Okay. So her power is definitely not like Wonder Woman levels because she's no joke. Like 100 humans could try and overpower Wonder Woman. It wouldn't do any good.
Right. Not a chance. So her just coming out of stasis and then her getting drugged by these kids, she gets overpowered. She also gets imprisoned with the young woman who betrayed her because now the king's like, all right, well, you both are in trouble. Like, you can't bring me a woman who kicks the crap out of me. So now you're both going to jail. So the young woman, she apologizes and explains that if she didn't bring Diana to the king, he would have found out and he would have punished her whole family. She didn't have a choice. And Diana explains that she forgives her and knows that humans are complicated.
Yeah, complicated.
And then she talks about meeting Steve Trevor for the first time.
Oh, okay.
And how at that moment she fell in love with humans. Not him in particular, but people.
Right.
And we see a flashback to him wide-eyed and scared after his plane crash on Themyscira. And she finds that endearing, that look of curiosity and fear and excitement in his eyes. That combination somehow sells her on us.
on humans.
Right. Imagine it's like finding a puppy. You're like, oh, all right. Yeah, you shit on the carpet. I still love you.
Yeah,
it's
these
fine.
things are totally wrecking house, but they're kind of cute.
It's adorable. It's fine. I can fix it. So, after this conversation, Diana is led to an arena to fight gladiator style for the king's amusement.
It's always funny that with all of these, any story that is post-apocalyptic, it's funny how humans always devolve into like ancient Rome.
I know.
There's always a gladiator arena. There's always some fucked up king who's just controls everything, and the king's always some weaselly little fucker. Like, how did this guy get in? You know what I mean? It's like,
Yep.
What?
Yep. You are 100% correct. So she's brought to this Roman-style, gladiatorial arena, and she's met by a mutated cheetah.
Oh, snap.
And, her nemesis, not like an actual cheetah.
No, yeah.
Yeah, the superhuman cheetah. Except now she has teeth running all over her face and has a literal cheetah head for an arm.
Yeah, she's big as shit, too.
And Diana recognizes her and calls her by her real name, Barbara. And Cheetah kind of shakes out of it and responds, Diana? Look at what they've done to me. I'm sorry. I have to fight you. They'll hurt me if I don't. I'm sorry. And then they fight. And they get really into it.
Crazy.
And Cheetah is going to try to kill Diana. She has no choice. And Diana is just trying to fight her off. Like, you don't have to do this. You don't have to do this. We can figure this out. We can get out of here together. And at that point, the castle becomes overrun in monsters.
Well, it's kind of confusing. Like, I'm thumbing through as you're talking about it.
Yeah.
And this art is so fucking good. It's incredible. But, like, it doesn't make sense. It's one of those weird plot devices where, she's huge. Mm-hmm. She's a goddamn, monster. And she's being controlled by just piddly little humans. It's like, what? How are they doing that?
Yeah. And you see a little later, humans started experimenting on superhumans and found some way to essentially like restrain them while they just did bad stuff.
So kind of like that whole, name any superhero TV show out there. There's some organization that essentially has a collar of some kind.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Think of it like that. And so in Cheetah's case, I think she's just been so abused that she doesn't need a collar. Just the threat alone is enough.
Yeah, that's some kind of shrinky-dink syndrome she's got.
Yeah. And we see actually later in the book some of the experimentation that was done to her.
Oof. Okay.
And you get a feeling of like why she's just trying to survive at this point. So
the one more thing,
Yeah.
the page that shows the beasts coming into the arena, that splash page could seriously be a poster.
yes, it's amazing. Like the amount of detail in it.
It's so good.
It's crazy. So in the background of their fight, you do get a few little glimpses of outside the castle, and you see this horde like approaching and approaching
Right.
and approaching, and then it's overrun. There's too many. The castle is used to defending a handful at a time.
Right.
Now there are hundreds.
I wonder why there's a big rush this time.
Right? It's very interesting timing. Now,
Yeah.
Diana and Barbara finally look up and see the crowd just being decimated. And Diana, as her instinct, jumps into action and starts monster slaying like it's going out of style. And she's able to save the day. She's able to save the fort. Everyone is, well, not everyone makes it. those who do make it are very appreciative.
Yeah, I'm seeing examples of your slash and your chonks and your snaps that you're talking about. Yeah,
Aren't they beautiful?
it's rad.
So after she saves the day, she says, hey, the king goes in the same cell I was in. That's where he lives now. We're done with that guy. I'm in charge now.
Nice.
Now, Cheetah wants to kill him. Reasonably so.
Absolutely.
But Diana tells her, no, listen, it's tough, but we're above these people. We need to stay above this. And Cheetah says, I hate you. I'm leaving. Cheetah runs off. She's out of here. Like, okay, great. Doors open. I'm out. Like, you want to play fort? You want to play king? Good luck. I'm out of here.
yeah, like she knows that it ain't gonna work. Probably.
Right. I would have let these people get eaten by the monsters. Like, good luck.
Yeah, she's the whole time Diana's fighting these beasts and trying to protect people. There's no panels of Cheetah killing any of them.
No, she's just hanging back. Like,
Yeah, hell yeah.
sweet. She was probably like excited, like, finally.
It should have been her. She should have just started going ham on all the freaking humans there. Shit.
That was my first reaction. Like, oh, sweet. He's like side with the monsters and kill all the people.
Yeah.
But no, this is the story of Jesus. That's what made me first think of this. Is like it's Diana constantly like talking about forgiveness and turning the other cheek and being above it and trying to save humanity. It's like, man, there's some real Christ vibes going through this book. I mean, I get where you're coming from. A resurrected superhuman telling people they need to be better. This is an interesting retelling of the New Testament.
Also, her brain is stuck in the before 4 times before it was like this.
That's true. That's true. She is holding on to an ideal of the Justice League,
Right.
Of putting it all on the line to save the world. That's where she's coming from, and the people pick up on that because they start calling her the savior of Camp Hope.
Ah.
She's their deliverer. This is their new queen, and she tells them, "Hey, nice castle and all, but we can't keep living like this. Humanity needs a place to thrive, a place that will offer them protection." So she says, "I'm taking you all home with me. We're going to Themyscira." And that's book 1 and of 4. It's a short run, but that's our introduction. So we got our introduction to the world,
Man, that last panel is nice.
isn't it? Where she's kind of reaching out.
Well, she's just standing there. She's saying, I'm taking us to Themyscira, and it says end of chapter 1. It's just Diana all fugged up.
Yep. Yeah, there's no glamour in this book. Everything's pretty rough, and it fits. It fits the story that we're telling. All this stuff. she were in a spotless uniform, gallivanting around in high heels, like it wouldn't really work here. This is a Doc Martens kind of girl we're talking about here. So book 2 opens up, and we open on another flashback, and this is of Diana's fight training. So she's a young woman, maybe late teens, early 20s by the look of it, but she's an Eternal, so I mean she could be 500 years old at this point.
Sure.
Who knows? But this is the window we're looking at. Her instructor has the upper hand and just keeps pushing her. She's a warrior woman, and she's just batting Diana around.
No shit.
And they're on a cliffside overlooking the ocean, and the trainer finally pisses off Diana enough that Diana punches the ground so hard the entire cliffside collapses into the sea.
Damn.
And we cut to the instructor a little later telling Diana's mom what happened. Hippolyta, that's Diana's mother, then tells the instructor that Diana was designed to be the most powerful force in the universe. And she tells a story about a party so epic that the gods themselves passed out drunk. And that's when she went from god to god, cut into their palms, and collected their blood.
Oh, snap.
Quote, "Not a single god slept without their palm touching my blade." And the instructor hesitates. Even Zeus. So then we see Diana get her famous gauntlets. And we find out it's a way of diminishing her power.
Oh, shit.
It's actually to protect her and those around her.
Okay, so what we're going to see is that because she doesn't have her gauntlets in this series...
Yeah, gauntlets, you'll remember, she's missing.
Right. Oh, shit.
So, we cut back to the present day, and Diana's leading the survivors of New Hope out of the castle and into the wasteland. And we see the passage of time, again, as a series of shots of the sun and moon in opposing panels. And they establish a temporary camp in a crater near the sea, because they're going to be heading off to an island. And that camp is soon invaded by a giant monster. This one is way bigger than the last one.
Ooh, yeah, damn, it's huge.
Imagine like a Godzilla-sized cockroach with Predator's mandibles.
Yeah, he's all chitinous and stuff. Yeah, that's cool.
And it's just wrecking shop. They're trying their best to fight this thing off, but it's too much. And suddenly, Diana drives a Jeep off a canyon edge, Dukes of Hazzard style, and lands straight in its neck. She jumps off the Jeep, stabs it in the face with a sword, and then uses some goodies from Ye Old Utility Belt to light that fucker up. And down goes Fraser in a big-ass fireball.
Damn.
It's pretty intense. Now, the remaining people, what's left of them?
Yeah, not much.
They're finally able to make their way to the coast with Diana. And she tells them, listen, I'm going to sail to Themyscira. They have a little boat. Like, there's little bits of the old world that have been, like, saved. Part of the castle was there was a collection of things that had been scavenged from the old world. So they had a little bit of gasoline. They had a few, like military vehicles. They got a few little things here and there. So there's little bits of the old world, but nothing on a large scale.
Right.
So one of the kind of engineers of their group is able to make a boat out of a truck engine that they had, and building a hull, or if they had the hull from something else. So they make her a little boat, but it only fits like 2 people, right? So you can't take everyone with you.
Right.
So she tells them, listen, I'm going to go to Themyscira, and then I'll bring you all back with me. I'm going to go there, figure this out, and then we'll be able to move you all over there, and then you'll be safe.
That's funny. It's I'm going to go sailing on the ocean in a little tiny boat to an island super far away. So all you guys hang tight here for months, and I'll be back.
Yeah, just hide from the giant monsters as best you can.
Yeah, like 4 months from now, I'll be back with maybe 1 or 2 boats. Hopefully, like that's crazy.
Right, I'll be right back.
Good old comic book time, movie time.
Exactly. It doesn't seem to take very long either. I mean, Themyscira's magic, so maybe just appears when you need it. I don't know.
Yeah. Hey, you know what? If like since she's an Amazonian and she belongs there, it's her home. Maybe it's tethered or something like that.
Yeah.
She could just sail off the shore and bam, she is there.
Right. Yeah, because it doesn't seem like it's a months-long journey. It seems like, all right, we'll be back like in 2 days. Like we'll be back very soon.
Well, let's go with that. Now, that is now canon.
Sure. All right. Yeah, we've made it so. So she takes along 2 of our young people from the beginning, from the very first group, and they all arrive on Themyscira and find it in complete ruins.
Yeah, it's looking rough.
Yeah, it's not quite the shining city on a hill that it used to be. Diana tells the kids, "Hey, this doesn't look right. You guys should probably stay here. I'm gonna go check this out.
Yeah.
You wait." Now, if that were you, would you have waited in the boat?
Probably not. Not after seeing what she's capable of and what my soft little human body can't do. So,
Oh man, I would have hit my ass at the bottom of that boat so hard.
yeah.
You would never see me. I would have looked like a sack of potatoes back of the boat.
Camouflage.
But yeah, so she says, "Hey, hang tight. I'm gonna go check this out." And she makes her way through the island, and then she makes her way into the catacombs, and that's where she sees her mother. The top half of her mother, anyway.
What?
Because the bottom half is a horrible Lovecraftian monster.
Holy crap.
And this is when we get our first mind fuck. So the Amazons are immortal. They couldn't be killed by the bombs. But over time, they did begin to mutate.
Oh.
And those are the creatures that roam the earth now.
No, all of them?
Yep.
Holy shit.
So Hippolyta tells Diana she's been murdering her own sisters this whole time. And she's been doing it to protect the people who did this to them in the first place. And Diana finally breaks. That was enough. That was it. And she goes back to the humans and tells them essentially to go fuck themselves, and they're on their own now. And that's how we end book 2.
Wow.
So, book 3, we start out by getting a few more details about what happened to the world. As the sea levels began to rise, Themyscira finally came out in the open and told the world of man that they had to stop. You have to stop destroying the planet, or else we're going to have to respond with force.
Right.
Now, mankind, in typical man fashion, throws up some fat middle fingers and decides the
Right.
solution to their problem is to nuke Themyscira.
Nobody tells us what to do.
Exactly. Now, do you remember earlier when I said that Diana, she had fond memories of Steve Trevor?
Right.
Well, we see the same flashback that we saw before, but this time it's a little more zoomed out than the last time. And we see the same scared face, we see the same pose, but now we see something else. We see that he had his hand on his pistol.
Oh, okay.
And she's looking back on this, and then she tells herself, you know what? My mother was right. Humans can't be trusted. Like, I don't know what to do now. So Diana feels stuck. Quote, "I can't trust humanity anymore, and my mother wishes death upon everything." She's a giant sandworm. I don't know what to do now.
She was gnarly. That was rough.
And she says, "I'm trapped between 2 terrible forces. I need advice. I need him." So we cut to the Fortress of Solitude.
Him. Yeah, I was going to say him. There's only in the DC universe. There's only one him they talk about, and it ain't God or Jesus.
No. The capital H him in the DC universe is Superman.
Always, yeah.
So Jesus has to find his father. I mean, Wonder Woman has to find Superman. All right. So we cut to the Fortress of Solitude and the mountain of skeletons outside of it.
Damn.
And we see signs and graffiti all over the enormous doors. Where are you? Save us. Please come back. Now Diana goes to the front door.
He locked himself in, huh?
Which, there's a cool scene. Apparently there's a key to the front door right in front of the Fortress of Solitude, except it weighs like 100,000 tons.
Yeah.
And so only certain people can open that door. It's like Diana and him. But the key is literally right outside the door. But she can't lift it.
Right.
She tries to lift the key and can't do it. But the front door opens on its own. And who's behind it? It's Cyborg Superman. Do you remember him?
Oh, shit. Yeah, I do. Ooh, he's looking pretty gnarly, though. Holy crap.
So he was activated to wait for her return. And she asks him, "Can I speak with Superman?" And the cyborg says, "You don't remember, do you?" And Diana is ushered inside and she sees Superman, or Superman's skeleton, sitting on a throne.
Yeah.
He's still wearing the suit, but there's a basketball-sized hole in the center of his chest. And we get another flashback. Diana's fighting alongside the Amazons in this great war that's now happening on Earth. And this was after the Amazons showed themselves and told mankind, hey, easy with the fossil fuels for a minute.
Right.
And then we decided, no, fuck you. So Diana's fighting alongside the Amazons. And Superman is fighting on the side of the humans. Now, she tells Superman in this final battle that they're going to have, she tells him to stand down. Like, he's in the wrong. Like, he's defending these people who, like, need a lesson. Like, they need to be slapped around a little bit.
Right.
And, you know, Superman says, no, I can't let you hurt them.
Of course.
These are my people. And then, while they're having this conversation, the nukes fly. And the nukes are being sent all over the world. Anywhere there are Amazons, there are nukes on the way. Now, at this moment, Hippolyta's there with Diana, and she removes Diana's gauntlets and tells her she's going to need all of her power to save them. But it's not enough. And the nukes break through and destroy Themyscira.
Oof.
And at that point, Diana breaks down. And Superman, again, appears in front of her. Kind of like lands in front of her. And he says, listen, I'm sorry. I didn't think they would actually do it. I didn't think they'd use the bombs. I swear. And he tells her, I'm sorry, but there were bombs going to Smallville. I had to save my own family. I couldn't help you.
Oof.
And Diana looks up, and her eyes are completely blank and a little blue. And she's looking a little Zeusy.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, she took off the gauntlets, and they had explained that was taking away, like, what, half her power or something, just depowering her a bit.
Yep.
Okay.
So what happens next is a world-spanning ass whooping. She flies them through Gotham, through Metropolis, and finally right through the big-ass front doors of the Fortress of Solitude. And she tosses him on that throne. Now, what happens next is literally worth the price of the book by itself.
Yeah.
These next few pages literally took my breath away. Like, I had to stand up and take a breather to calm my heart down. I had to go, like, lay down and be like, okay. It was that intense. I mean,
yeah.
Bananas.
I'm looking through it. There's not a lot of dialogue through this. It's just, this is rough.
It's just an ass whooping.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna leave that for you to enjoy, because if I give away the next few scenes, it's gonna take away from it. So I'm gonna leave that fight for you to enjoy, because you have to see this.
I think it's a good idea. Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, you're looking through it now, and you agree that would be something to savor.
Yeah, it's too good to spoil. You know what I mean? Like, we could talk about it all day, each panel by panel, but you know what? No. Go out and get this book for sure.
Mm-hmm. So, cut back to the present. Diana is standing over Clark's mostly rotten corpse, and I think it's a combo of A, being Superman, and B, being kept in a frozen fortress. Did a lot to kind of keep them together.
Yeah, he's not quite a skeleton. He's still pretty wet.
Yeah. And Diana tells him, much like she told Bruce's corpse, that she's going to need to borrow a few things to get the rest of this job done. So, taking a cue from the Predator, she rips his skull and spine out of his body and loops her lasso through it.
Holy shit.
So she now has a Superman spinal cord whip. And it is so fucking metal, I can barely stand it.
Yeah, that's hardcore. Holy shit.
So Diana packs a few more supplies and heads off to the final fight to take down her mother and her monsters in the final chapter of our 4-part series.
Wow, that is a hell of a weapon. Holy shit.
Right? And that's where we're going to leave off. That's where I'm going to leave you. I'm going to leave you with one issue left, the big climactic battle scene. Honestly, it's a lot of art. It's a lot of panels to savor that I couldn't give any justice to describing anyway. So
yeah, if it's not a lot of dialogue, then it's something you have to see for yourself.
Mm-hmm. And you yourself, you're looking through it. Would you say this is worth savoring?
Absolutely. It's so good.
So, does Diana bring the world back to where it once was? Do the humans survive the final epic battle? And does the final book have more tentacles than a 90s hentai movie?
Whoa, just took a really strange turn.
Yes, it does. So, pick up Wonder Woman Dead Earth at your local shop and find out, because it is absolutely worth the price of admission. A little bonus too, like the actual book itself, it's pretty. Like the hardcover edition is beautiful. Like, and if you're sneaky like me and like to take a look under the dust cover, you'll find a nice painted landscape on a highly textured canvas kind of material. So
very nice.
Yeah, it looks and feels like you're handling like an actual watercolor painting. It's pretty fancy.
That's awesome.
So hopefully that whets your appetite for this new Wonder Woman story, because man, it is something else. I'll tell you. You can even read it in one whole go, and you'll need to take a walk afterwards.
Yeah, it's not long. It's not long, but there's a lot to see. It is a feast for the eyes.
Right. So I recommend it. Please go pick that up. All right. So speaking of other things that we're recommending and want to talk about, we're going to move on to the hold list, where we talk about other things we're enjoying, comic related and otherwise. And I'm going to take a little break here, and I'm going to throw it over to Jeremy. So you've been checking out the new Invincible animated series on Amazon.
Yeah. So, I mean, I don't recall exactly when Invincible, the comic book, came out. It's been out for a while now.
Yeah.
That was, who was that created by? That was Robert Kirkman.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
He's also the guy who created The Walking Dead, right?
Yeah, I think so, actually.
I think he did.
Are we going to Google this? Hey, Jamie, Google this for me. Hey, Jamie, tell me who created Invincible?
Robert Kirkman.
As long as it's not Alex Kurtzman. He's the guy who ruined Star Trek.
Nice. Yeah. Robert Kirkman is an American comic book writer best known for co-creating The Walking Dead, Invincible, Tech Jacket, Outcasts, and Oblivion Song for Image comic books.
Nice. Yeah, he's had a good run.
He's had, yeah, I would say that, lightning struck for Mr. Kirkman, The Walking Dead with the whole TV series. And I mean, the book was successful by itself. And then the TV show came along and just skyrocketed that guy. I mean, it's crazy, right?
Have you ever heard his story about pitching The Walking Dead?
No.
It's so funny. Here's this young guy, and he's working, I think he was an intern or something at Image. Like he was really low down the totem pole. And so he wants to pitch the idea for Walking Dead. But Image, no joke, had a no more fucking zombie stories policy.
They were done with zombies.
We're done.
Huh?
Zombies are done. This is getting hacky. No. And so he pitched the story as an alien invasion story, but totally had it planned to be a zombie story. He just needed to get past the gatekeeper. So he pitched it completely differently than what it was. And then they gave him the green light. And he's like, cool. And then there are zombies.
Smart guy.
Well, it made him a co-owner of Image. He went from nothing to a co-owner. He's one of the heads of Image now.
Damn.
Yep. That's what success will get you.
Playing the game. Mm-hmm. But yeah, I mean, good for him, because Invincible is also very, very successful. Mm-hmm. The comic book, and it was created by Robert Kirkman, Cory Walker, and Ryan Ottley. Cory Walker and Ryan Ottley being artists. Mm. And I read a lot of the comic book when it first came out.
Yes, so did I.
And when I found out they're making a cartoon of it, I was like, okay, cool. You know, I'm totally down for that. I don't know how many episodes or issues the comic book is up to now, but I know that the cartoon has plenty of material to go off of. You know, the book has been around for a while now.
Yeah.
And I mean, so far the cartoon has been fantastic. You know, obviously it's changed. You know, it doesn't follow the exact same flow as the books, but as far as I can remember, it's pretty damn good. It has all the characters I remember. You know, events happen in an order that I kind of remember.
Okay.
It's gory. It's adult. I see. What is it on? It's Amazon Prime.
Right, and that's what I was going to say. Is it's nice to see these kind of properties developed for things like Amazon or Netflix or HBO Max, where they don't have, you know, the limitations. You know, it's like, okay, well, we can show, you know, 7 out of 10 of you know what you've got here. But yeah, streaming services are like, hey, if you can make us some money, go crazy,
go nuts. Yeah, because just like The Walking Dead, you know, Invincible is not it's not for kids. Mm-hmm. It's a very colorful book. It's got very like typical looking superheroes and stuff, you know, brightly colored costumes and capes and blah blah blah, but it's over the top. Well, I shouldn't say over the top, because that would insinuate that it's not needed. It's just got ridiculous amounts of violence, you know, and blood and guts and gore. And when the book first starts out, that's not apparent, you know. And then all of a sudden, one of the characters like rips somebody in half, and you're like, "What the fuck?"
Right.
So it's a brutal book. Yeah. And just like, you know, The Walking Dead, they don't hold a lot of punches. You know, everybody in that series could die. You know, no, they don't. They just murder everybody. It's a nutty book, and so the comic, or the cartoon rather, is holding up to that. You know, it's, you know, it's an adult cartoon for sure, and very gory, a lot of F-bombs. It's a good one.
Yeah, I watched the trailer and it was like, wow, there's a lot of F-bombs.
I know, right? It's very much not for kids. If you are the type of parent that doesn't want their kid exposed to violence, do not let them read nor watch Invincible. And it is hyper violence, and
it's deceptive because the art style is like real bright and clean, and the animated style. I mean, this looks like, you know, the Justice League cartoon on CW. Like, it has that same like clean lines, and you know, it's like you don't get the same vibe as like when you walk into like a Rick and Morty or something, where it's like, oh, okay, this is going to be gross or subversive, or you can tell almost immediately by the art. You know, it's like, okay, this is a kind of a chaotic art style. I can kind of expect what's happening. This comes at you like it's Batman the Animated Series. Like, it's clean as shit, and then it's like
super pretty.
Whoa. Yeah. I was surprised by that. I was like, oh wow, okay, cool.
Yeah, when I first started reading the book, I didn't expect it. You know, I picked up, I think it was a trade at that point. Like, it had been out for long enough there to be a trade of the first 7 issues or so, and I thumbed through it. The first few pages, like, oh, okay, so it's like a Superman equivalent, you know. This guy, the main character of Invincible, is the superhero Invincible, but his name is Mark Grayson, and his dad is Nolan Grayson, who happens to be Omni-Man, the world's, you know, Earth's strongest superhero. So it's a different take. It's what if Superman was a family man and had kids.
Yeah, and it like has like a wife at home. Like one of the first bits, I think from one of the trailers or a little sample bit was like, yeah, like they're at home, like, you know, cooking dinner and stuff, and or like his wife's cooking dinner, and like he like lands in the backyard, and then he just walks inside. He's like, all right, well that was done. All right, what's for dinner?
She's a real estate agent. She sells houses, and they go and get pizza for dinner, but they get it in Naples. You know what I mean? Because he's freaking Omni-Man.
That's how I would do.
So it starts off like that. You know, it's very much a comic booky superhero teams, you know, and then all of a sudden it just takes a turn, and you're like, holy shit. And on top of it being a very adult and entertaining cartoon, the cast is freaking amazing.
That's what really floored me. I looked at the voice cast on this and was like, wow, this is like a AAA movie.
Yeah, they definitely, and I always wonder how people can get so many different very popular and current actors and actresses to do cartoons like this, and it just must be connections. I just know people. Hey, want to throw down some voice, some lines real fast? Yeah, sure. But there's a lot of people. Like, the main cast is amazing by itself. You got Sandra Oh as Debbie Grayson. That's the mom of the main character. Speaking of The Walking Dead, Stephen Yeun plays Mark Grayson.
Yep.
And then you got J.K. Simmons as Omni-Man, or Nolan Grayson, a.k.a. Omni-Man.
Always a treat.
Always. He's amazing no matter what.
Yep.
You got people like Zazie Beetz, Walter Goggins. A lot of people might not know Walter Goggins by name, but if you Google his name, you'll be like, oh, that guy.
He's one of those guys.
Oh, yeah. And then you got Jillian Jacobs. You got, I don't know how to pronounce his last name, but Jason Mantzoukas?
You got it. Jason Mantzoukas. Nice.
Mantzoukas? He's hilarious.
He is worth the price of admission on its own. I love Jason Mantzoukas. He is one of the funniest comedians out there.
He's great in everything, right?
The first time I became familiar with him is he's on a podcast, and it's called How Did This Get Made? And it's about bad movies. And he is hilarious.
Yeah.
It's just a force of nature. So yeah, anything he's in, he's the voice of Vanbo in Solar Opposites.
Yep.
He's if you need an obnoxious screaming character, Jason Mantzoukas is your guy.
Or just, any kind of character that is zany or silly. Like the first time I ever saw him in anything was The Good Place. He played like a like a robot that didn't work right.
Yeah. Like
hilarious.
An AI that kept getting reset.
Exactly. You got Zachary Quinto. He plays Robot. He's in this. Clancy Brown's freaking Seth Rogen.
Yeah, there's a ton.
Lots.
You just look at that list. It's like, wow.
Yeah, Michael Dorn.
This is impressive.
Yeah, John Hamm, Mae Whitman. There's so many people. It's ridiculous. Mark Hamill. Mark Hamill's in 4 episodes.
Wait, listen. You had me at Worf. Michael Dorn's in this?
Michael Dorn.
Oh, fucking sign me up.
Yep. He's 1 episode. He plays Battle Beast.
Love it.
Yep. So, it's definitely worth your time if you like superheroes, which if you're listening to us, you probably do.
I'd hope so.
If you're into violence, which if you like comic books or human, you probably do.
Probably. Yeah.
Probably. If you like bright colors, which most of us do since we read comic books.
I love them.
I think you're really going to love this cartoon, so definitely go check it out.
Nice.
It's on Amazon Prime Video. There's only 4 episodes out at the moment.
Okay.
And I highly, highly recommend it.
Nice. And it's nice to catch the beginning of a series. It's like you get to be at the ground floor with everyone else. Like, you got to worry about spoilers. You don't got to worry about, you just get to take the ride with everyone else.
Right.
Yeah, it's been in my queue. It's been in my Amazon queue because when I saw it pop up, I was like, oh, awesome. I read that comic. That's great. And I flagged it, but I haven't started it yet. Because I'm like a binge watcher. I like to watch a bunch in a row. But it sounds like there's enough. If I can watch 3 or 4 in a row, I'm good. That'll be
good. There's 4 out now. There's plenty to binge.
Good.
And then you can wait another month and have 4 more to go.
And are they 30-minute kind of episodes, or
No, actually they're kind of. I think the runtime's more like 45 minutes.
Nice. Okay, so that's a decent. It's a nice. It gives you enough room to tell a story. You don't have to cut stuff out, or you don't have to cramp. I know with a lot of streaming services, they're like, hey, ballpark it, whatever you want. Doesn't matter. You got no time slots to fill or anything.
That's true. Yeah, it can kind of land wherever it needs to.
Yeah, exactly.
It's kind of they're about the length of a typical hour-long TV show, except without the commercials. So it's 42 to 48 minutes or so.
Sounds perfect.
Yeah,
sounds perfect. Well, right on. Nice. That's a great suggestion. And it's new, which is always nice. It's like, hey, look, I found this new thing and it's awesome. All right. Well, speaking of, my whole list item is kind of new. It came out, I think, maybe 6 months ago or something like that, which is new to me. I've always way behind on this stuff, but
me too.
My whole list item this week is another streaming offering. This one's from Netflix, and it is Dolomite Is My Name. Now, one thing that you'll learn about me is I love movies about movies. Like,
Right.
I love TV shows about TV shows, like 30 Rock, any like.
That's what I was going to say. Yeah, 30 Rock.
Yeah, I love that, like, the making part of it. It's almost like, a documentary. Like, I love that kind of stuff. And Dolomite Is My Name is a biopic, so it's close to a documentary. It's like, it's a documentary, but more interesting.
Right.
And it is the Rudy Ray Moore biopic starring Eddie Murphy, Wesley Snipes, Divine Joy Randolph, Craig Robinson, Mike Epps, Keegan-Michael Key, Snoop Dogg, Chris Rock,
Nice.
and many, many more. This is just loaded with people And, it's no surprise. Like, if Eddie Murphy calls you, it's like, hey, you want to be in this movie?
Well, yeah.
I'll be there first thing in the morning.
Yeah, no problem there, yeah.
Exactly. So, a little background on Rudy Ray Moore, in case you're unfamiliar. He is a true from the streets success. So after years of trying to break through as an entertainer in LA, the 40-something Moore took some stories he heard around his neighborhood and created the stand-up comedian character of the ever-confident and ever-rhyming Dolomite.
Way down in the jungle deep, the lion stepped on the signified monkey's feet. The monkey said, motherfucker, can't you see? You standing on my goddamn feet. The lion said, I ain't heard a word you said. If you say 3 more, I'll jump off on your motherfucking head. Hey man, don't give me that Buddy Hackett shit. Make that shit swing. Put your weight on it. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. But the monkey got wise and started using his wit. Said he think I'm gonna bring an end to all this ass kicking shit. Ran up on the line the very next day. He said, oh, Mr. Lion, there's a big, bad, burly motherfucker coming your way. He said, if he's somebody that you don't know, because it just broke loose from Wrangling Brothers show. Said he talked about your people in a hell of a way. Yes, he talked about your people till my hair turned gray. Your daddy's a freak and your mama's a whore. Said he spotted you in the jungle selling your black ass from door to door. He said your sister got down into a hell of a trick. She got so low she sucked the earthworm's dick. See your grandma, he gonna get him another good piece.
And this act blew up. It led to a huge underground success with self-released record albums and touring across the country. And they spotlight this in the film, and it's so brilliant. So Rudy, he decides he's going to release a comedy record, right? It's something you can do as a one-person entertainment act. You can release a comedy record, and he pays for it himself. He pays for the records to get pressed and all that stuff,
Right.
and then only sells it at the record store he works at, and you have to ask for it by name, and there's a stamp of the devil on the front of the cover, and it says
All right.
adults only.
Ooh.
And one of his friends goes, man, why do you put the devil on this? And he says, makes people think they're not supposed to have it. And that's when people want it.
Oh yeah.
And ain't that the truth?
It's like when countries, decriminalize certain drugs, all of a sudden the demand for the drug goes away.
Yeah, it's like, it's not cool anymore.
Weird.
So he's selling these things out of record stores, out of the trunk of his car. It blows up. It becomes this huge thing. He even gets on the Billboard charts for a record album individually produced that you can't play on the radio, which is insane. Like that's like
Hey, especially
never
back
happened.
then.
Yeah, this is
Yeah.
the 70s. So, with the blaxploitation film genre exploding, it was only a matter of time until Dolomite hit the big screen. Now, this is the story of that. It's the creation of the Dolomite character and the making of the first Dolomite movie. And Eddie Murphy plays Rudy Ray Moore and delivers a performance you have not seen from Eddie Murphy in ages. He is in it to win it on this one.
Which is great because I'm not a huge fan of family-friendly Eddie Murphy.
Right. Man, and he's got a big ass family, so that was, his mindset for a long time was all right, I'm going to make some stuff, for the kids. This is not for the kids.
This is not.
Not even
good.
close.
Good.
And the best way to enjoy this is just sit back and just watch him chew the scenery of every scene he's in. It is
Nice.
an amazing performance. So he's got a bit of makeup. He's got wig. They make him a bit balding, and they put on some extra pounds. And he makes an excellent Dolomite.
Well, he's one hell of an impressionist. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Like he's definitely a studier of human mannerisms, so it's no surprise that he does well.
You're absolutely correct because he totally embodies his character. And you know what's nice? He doesn't play any other characters.
That's good.
He completely focuses on this.
That's good.
You're not distracted by him playing every role, or oh look, it's him in this outfit, or it's him in this. No, he's Dolomite. Fuck off.
I mean, I do love that, but I get it. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. I mean, he has the chops to do it. Absolutely. But this is a nice you don't get distracted by it. Like he embodies the character so solidly that you just believe that's Rudy Ray Moore. You're not like, oh, and he's also playing his brother and he's also playing his mom. No, he's just this character and he just owns it.
Nice.
The other real standout is Wesley Snipes. He is almost unrecognizable as D'Urville Martin, who was a name actor at the time. He'd been in a few other movies, and he gets lured into this project because Rudy Ray Moore tells him he can direct. I don't want to be in your movie. What if I let you direct? I'm listening.
Yeah. Opportunities, you're not going to give them up.
He plays a character that is out of this world. It's amazing, and just to watch him play it with such mastery.
Well, Wesley Snipes is a nutter butters by itself, so
and he uses all that in the
good
portrayal of this character. But like the real scene stealer in this movie is a woman named Divine Joy Randolph, and she plays Lady Reed, who's a small town girl who Moore discovers on tour, and she's another comedian. She's a funny woman. And so he takes her on tour, and she's kind of his opening act, and they do bits together. And, she's taken from this, shitty little town in Mississippi straight to the top with Rudy, which is an awesome, kind of journey to watch, for her, too.
Right.
The entire cast throws themselves into this. There's not a single person who's a weak link.
That's awesome.
in this movie. Everybody's pulling double duty on this, man.
Nice.
Again, a little background on Rudy. He was born in 1927 in Arkansas. So this is an old-timer guy. That said, he had a number of hit comedy albums, like I mentioned. Some of the titles, such as Eat Out More Often, Below the Belt, and Let's Come Together.
All right.
He also had a few blockbuster movies in his career. One, of course, was Dolomite. Another was The Human Tornado, Disco Godfather, and my personal favorite, Petey Wheatstraw, son-in-law of the devil.
Petey Wheatstraw, Petey Wheatstraw, Petey Wheatstraw, devil's son-in-law.
That sounds amazing.
It is a fantastic movie. So, if you ever felt like you were meant for greatness, but everyone keeps telling you no, this is a movie for you. This is inspirational as fuck.
Nice. It's a don't give up on your dreams kind of thing.
Never. This should be called Tenacity the Movie. He never gives up. So this movie is by the same people who made Ed Wood.
Oh, okay.
And it has that same kind of vibe where it's like, all right, here's this artist and they have a vision and the world just doesn't really get it, but they never give up. Just Rudy had a bit more success than Ed Wood. So, like Rudy said, you want action? You want laughs? You want some nasty? We got it all.
He made me do it.
Bitch, are you for real?
So,
Nice.
please check out Dolomite Is My Name on Netflix. It is amazing. You will absolutely love it. It's fantastic.
I think I'll check it out.
You absolutely should. I think you'll love it. I mean, because you're a movie guy. You know, you love Eddie Murphy. Like, it's just a perfect. Like, this is going to be one of his greats.
Nice. Yeah, old school Eddie Murphy is one of my faves.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. So, speaking of which, moving on to our hero of the week. And our hero of the week is Eddie Murphy. How about that? Eddie Murphy turned 60 years old this week, and he has been a goddamn superstar for more than 2/3 of his life. And he started doing
Yeah.
stand-up when he was a kid.
pretty incredible.
That's crazy. Man, this list, Saturday Night Live, 48 Hours, Trading Places, Beverly Hills Cop, Coming to America, goddamn Shrek. Listen.
Goddamn Shrek.
I love it. And he does a bunch of charity stuff, too. He was recently doing a charity event called Feeding America Comedy Festival. So he does a lot of that stuff, which is very cool. Eddie Murphy was also recently inducted into the NAACP Image Awards Hall of Fame on March 27th. He was presented the award by his longtime friend and co-star Arsenio Hall. This is nice. The Hall of Fame induction is bestowed on an individual who is viewed as a pioneer in their respective field and whose influence shapes the profession for generations to come, which that's a pretty accurate description of Eddie Murphy's career.
Yeah.
Previous inductees include Oprah Winfrey, Stevie Wonder, Spike Lee, Ray Charles, and Sidney Poitier.
Sidney Poitier.
Sidney Poitier. Quote, to this day, Eddie Murphy's work continues to bring joy and laughter to individuals around the world, and he is an amazing example of black excellence, creativity, and artistry, said Derek Johnson, the president and CEO of the NAACP. And as the father to 10 children,
Damn.
my God. He recently explained in a appearance on Mark Maron's WTF podcast that his kids always come before his career, calling them the center of everything. Quote, I'm going to be 60 in April, and I've got all these babies, and I love fatherhood. The whole idea of being out there and doing 3 movies a year, that shit is over. I realize that if you put your children first, you'll never make a bad decision. When you hit a crossroads moment, or you've got some shit, you think, well, what's best for my children? And if you go that route, you never make a bad decision. And that's nice to hear, right? That's a nice...
It's not true, but it's nice to hear.
It's a beautiful sentiment.
It is. It's and if it works well for him, that's fantastic. You know,
Sure.
You can't get mad at somebody for putting their family over their career,
Right.
or any version of that. You know what I mean? That's
Right.
fine.
No, that's just, listen, as someone who doesn't have kids, I'm always like, yeah, that sounds nice in theory.
Yeah, in theory, that's amazing. But again, good on him.
Yeah.
The millions and millions of dollars doesn't help to raise, or can't hurt when raising 10 frickin' children. That's amazing.
Yeah. If you have 10 kids, but you get them spread out in like a big old mansion, it's probably, you can get some quiet time.
And a team of nannies, but whatever.
Hey, man, if it works, it works. So,
I'm happy for him.
in honor of your 60th birthday, Eddie, you're our IRL Hero of the Week. Right on.
Pretty amazing career, that's for sure.
Yes, absolutely. All right. Well, that'll do it for this week. Next week, what's mean, green, and all out of fucks to give? It's the Immortal Hulk.
Yeah.
So Jeremy's going to take us deep down into the slimy guts of this new horror epic, and it's going to be fun for the whole family.
Slimy is a perfect word to describe the Immortal Hulk. It is a slimy mess, and it's great.
Yeah, absolutely. So make sure to bring a tarp, because it's going to be like Gallagher, but with intestines instead of watermelons.
Yeah, intestines and wet bone chunks, skin flaps, and eyeballs.
This is one of those books that Jeremy volunteered to take on, because this is much more his cup of tea than me.
Absolutely.
So I am looking forward to that. It's always nice to have a scary story told to you by someone instead of having to experience it yourself. At least that's my motto.
Maybe one day we cover Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory.
No, I quit. We're done. This podcast is over. All right. For Minding the Multiverse, I am Gabriel.
And I'm Jeremy.
And remember, we're never doing Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory.
Oh, come on.
Bitch, are you for real?